Coopercom Stadium is sold out. A high spinning kick hit downfield. And here comes Kenny Bynum. Out to the 24-yard line. A return on the play of 21 yards. And Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers come out on offense. Harbaugh with a quarterback rating of 69.6. Interceptions have been a problem. He's not thrown a touchdown pass in the last 3 games. The veteran, though, is allowed to light it up at any time. He had a very hot streak at one point in the year.
He's a guy that came in here to San Diego and has given them a level of respect that they didn't have at the quarterback position a year ago.
Going with a lone setback now. Kazan, the rookie fullback, runs the ball and doesn't get much as we look at the rest of the San Diego Chargers on offense. Jackson, Taylor, Fortin, Graham, and Parker across the front. They didn't run the ball at all last week at Miami. Kazan, the rookie from Oklahoma, starting runner, fullback McCrary, Graham and Ken, the wideouts. Leading receiver is the tight end, Freddie Jones, with 50 catches. Here is Jermaine Fazan, and he hits it out close to the 28-yard line. On second down and 10, gets about 4. As we look at the Raiders on defense, they grade out well. Harris, Maryland, Darrell Russell, a Pro Bowler, having a tremendous year, and Lance Johnstone. Barton, a rookie. Beekert in the middle. Richard Harvey, a veteran at the right side. Woodson, Newman, Mincy, and Allen in the defensive secondary. Charles Woodson, 2 years in the league and 2 Pro Bowls. He's going again. And not even looking at the ball was Terrell Fletcher, but he's looking for a penalty marker, but there's none. So the Chargers really off center on that.
In the last month, the Chargers have been going with a no-huddle offense. You see they run play after play very quickly, and John Gruden knows that if his team is going to play well against that offense, they've got to be ready once they step on the field, because it's very difficult to substitute as a defense when the offense does not huddle.
Aaron Bennett, a big punter from Australia, a guy who's undergone 12 knee surgeries over the years, most of it due to Australian rules football. It's a high booming punt. Darian Gordon backpedals to the 14-yard line. Gordon with a channel of blockers, a picket line forming on the right side, and he gets the ball close to the 25-yard line. And there the Oakland Raiders come out first down and 10 after a 58-yard punt by Bennett and a 12-yard return tackled by Reggie Rusk. Rich Gannon at quarterback, heading to the Pro Bowl for the first time, his 12th year in the league. Best numbers ever, the quarterback rating, touchdown throws, and yardage.
And it says something about this Raiders team that at this point in the season they've got a Pro Bowl quarterback, and they're also running the football better than anybody in the National Football League. That says where they've come this far this season. They've really made a step up this year, even though they may not make the playoffs.
Yeah, they are. 138 yards a game rushing for the Raiders, 4.5 a carry. The NFL's best rushing team at this point. And the door is slammed as Tyrone Wheatley, having a career year, first year as a Raider, 5th year in the league. As we look at the rest of the Oakland Raider offense, Collins, Wisniewski, Robbins, Sims, and Kennedy, a big offensive front. Wide receivers are Tim Brown and James Jett, Dudley the tight end, Kaufman and John Ritchie, the runners. They'll alternate Wheatley and Kaufman. They both ran for over 100 yards last week in the route of Tampa Bay. Near side throw, nicely done. Jett sprints ahead. First down for Oakland on an 11-yard gain. They'll be going after cornerback Fakir Brown all day. That's who they went after there. As we look at the Chargers on defense, Fontenot, Hand, Perella, who's had a tremendous year. So is pass rusher Rayleigh Johnson. Bush, Hill, and Seesaw, who's playing hurt across the front on the linebacking core. And Lewis, Brown at the corners, Jackson and Dumas are the safeties. There is Junior Seau, 8 straight Pro Bowls. He won't go to the next one, didn't make it this year. And he said his only disappointment is he didn't do enough to help his team win if he's not going. Here's Dudley, the tight end, and he's out to the 40-yard line. Nice controlled passing game here, Steve, by the veteran Rich Gannon.
Well, that's what Rich Gannon has given the Raiders. Just consistency. Just play steady. Get the ball in the hands of the people that can make the plays. He has really done more in what he has not done, and that is mistakes. Rich Gannon has played mistake-free, and the Raiders have been much improved, if only for that reason.
2nd down and 6 coming up now for the Raiders. Raiders coming off maybe the most dominant win of any team over another top team, maybe in a decade, routing what many think is the best team right now in the National Conference, Tampa Bay, last week, 45-0. Never a game.
You just do not see teams lose by 45 points in the National Football League, and the Raiders put it all together last week. And the reason it was so surprising was they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are a playoff team. That is a good football team they've got in Tampa Bay, and the Raiders just chewed them up and spit them out.
Absolute embarrassment, but the Raiders are that way this year. Good one game, not good the next. That's how you get to 7-7 and hoping for help to possibly make the playoffs. 3rd down coming up, and a timeout is signaled. It's taken by the San Diego Chargers. Happy holidays from San Diego, where the Raiders and the Chargers meeting for the 2nd time. Mike Riley, head coach of the San Diego Chargers. His team deeply troubled by injuries, particularly in their pass defense.
Yeah, one of the things he said, the low point last week was they had to call a timeout because they didn't have enough defensive backs to actually even field a defensive backfield. They had to call a timeout and find guys to play.
They're just coming off a timeout the Chargers called now. Looked like Dudley left early. When he leaves early, he leaves fast.
Yeah, he doesn't stop. He keeps going.
Dudley, a much improved player. They thought.
False start. Offense. Number 83.
That's Dudley.
Penalty remains 3rd down.
Jeff Triplett, our referee, is the guy who at Cleveland last week was knocked down by Orlando Brown, the offensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns.
There's not much question about that. You see there, Ricky Dudley taking off down the field and not looking back.
Raiders have the best conversion rate on 3rd down in the American Conference, over 41%. Gannon needs 9. He makes the throw, and he's almost picked off. Mike Dumas, 38, comes over and makes the play, and so the Raiders stall. There's also a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. Could be a roughing the passer. It is. So the Chargers defense holds, but low. The Chargers are guilty of a roughing the passer penalty that gives a new set of downs to the Raiders.
And that's John Perella right there, getting the helmet right up under the chin. They'll call that every single time. John Perella has played very well for the Chargers in the last month. Sometimes when you get into these last few games of the season, you want to get your last licks in. Make sure that you end the season on a positive note, play hard, do some good things. John Perella's just a little bit overexcited on that.
And he told us when we talked to Big John, he said playing the Raiders is like a street fight with helmets on. It's as rough as it gets, and that time he got too rough with the quarterback, Rich Gannon. 1st down Raiders. A sack. Rayleigh Johnson and John Perella combine on a sack. They'll each get a half. Perella with 5.5 now. Rayleigh Johnson with 8 for the season.
It's ironic that when you sack a quarterback like that, that's never called roughing because he's still got the football. This is a much worse hit this time. Watches both guys sandwich Rich Gannon, tries to hang in there, knows right then that's a mark of a good quarterback. He knows he's going down, his time's running out, and you saw him tuck around the football as he was closed in by Al Fontenot and John Perella.
That brings up 2nd down and long now. Oakland needs 15 yards. Pitch back McCallum. Kaufman it is. Napoleon Kaufman turning the corner and gets out to the 48-yard line, where he is quickly knocked down by Seesaw as we look at the task at hand.
He is playing really hurt, but his emotional presence is a big difference for these Chargers.
He's the leader. Many of the Chargers call the greatest football player they've ever been around. Here is a throw and a catch. Yes, the coverage was right on the receiver, but it's good now for a 17-yard gain on the play. James Jett The fastest Raider comes in and runs a hook pattern.
James Jett working on Charles Dimry up at the top. This is a great catch by James Jett. Watch at the top of the route. Charles Dimry sees it, but he just can't get to the football. You see there, he's all over. The ball is right there. James Jett uses his body to keep Charles Dimry away from the football, and he gives himself an opportunity to catch it. That's a great play by a wideout.
And good for a first down. Gannon's perfect throwing the ball for the Raiders. 3 of 3. And off goes to Tyrone Wheatley, who takes it down to the 34-yard line. Wheatley gained only 1,200 yards total in his first 4 years in the league as a New York Giant. And now this year he's up over 840 for the season as a Raider.
Yeah, Tyrone Wheatley's one of those guys that he did struggle in New York, and he had a chance to go down to Miami and play. They released him. I think he looked in the mirror one day and said, you know what, I may be out of the league if I don't settle down. And he has really made the most of his opportunity here in Oakland.
Last stop. That's right. And he said, I love the game and I'm good at it, and he's proving it this year. Gannon, pump faking, drills the ball, and Dudley open, had to come back at it. But looked like a ball that was very catchable.
Yeah, you got to come down with that. If he makes that catch, you say, hey, that's a great catch. But if he misses it, you think he should have had it. It's one of those fine lines. The ball was behind him. He had to turn. He did everything right. What happens when you're going down the field and the ball's behind you, you got to turn your entire body. So many times you see a guy reach back with one arm, but Ricky Dudley does everything right here. He just doesn't pull. You see him turn his entire body. You see the ball's way up out of his reach. Rich Gannon tried to gun it in there because he could see Jason Perry closing in.
Dudley with 33 catches for the season, but 8 of them for touchdowns. Now we 10 coming up. 10th play of this drive. Gannon dumps it off. Incomplete. Zach Crockett, the fullback, 32, coming out of the backfield, couldn't get the low ball. Now we look at the AFC playoff picture. Jacksonville and Indianapolis tied for overall best records in the American Conference. In the 4th tiebreaker, they have to go to conference points. Jacksonville has a 14-point lead. Jaguars playing Cincinnati in the season finale. Next Sunday, the Colts play a tough Buffalo. Now Nedney is into
timeout.
52-yard field goal.
San Diego.
Somebody for a 52-yard field goal try by Joe Nedney, who was 1 for 1 field goals. And that's how he is as a Raider. He came in Houston having a lot of problems this year kicking field goals earlier in the year. Nedney with a big leg booms it, and he knocks it through, and the Raiders take a 3-0 lead. John Gruden sees his new kicker deliver the goods. Raiders kick off, and we come back. As the Oakland Raiders now kick the ball off. Joe Nedney hits a high spinner. Coming down with the ball is Kenny Bynum again. Will open the game with a return. This time he's taken down at the 24-yard line. Jim Harbaugh on first down takes a look downfield. Makes a throw. Coverage all over his intended receiver. Michael Ricks comes down with the ball for his. Now they're ruling he did not have possession. They're taking it back for 2nd down and 10.
Kind of yells out the formation. In fact, sometimes in timeouts, he doesn't like to get the play.
There's the play now. He fires over the middle. It's intercepted. The ball is picked off by Anthony Newman. So the Raiders defense takes a big bite out of the Chargers offense. Looking for Jeff Graham. He found Anthony Newman.
The Raiders just found out on their sidelines that they were eliminated by the fact that Buffalo won in New England. And let me tell you something, as a player, when you find that out, it makes you angry. The Raiders know they're playing as well as anybody in the AFC, and they're not going to the playoffs, and they are not happy about it.
Yeah, they announced it with great gusto here, maybe thinking the Raiders would go into a shell, and disappointed.
That's a big mistake by the Charger PR people here.
Well, I don't think they have to announce the scores. But Rich Gannon and the Oakland Raiders come out of the huddle at the 33-yard line of the Chargers. Second back. Hoffman tries to go wide. He's stuck hard. He also angered Darrell Lewis of the Chargers. He just put a big-time hit. No game. CBS is the only place to be on New Year's Eve. Gets it off nicely. Penalty markers down as Napoleon Kaufman gets inside the 30-yard line and down to the 28. Guy who's averaged for his 5 years in the league, Kaufman, almost 5 yards every time he's run with the ball. Right now, Gannon needs a big one. Throwing the ball. Second down and long yardage. Dumps it to Tim Brown. And Brown splits the defenders and gets inside the 5. Still fighting. He's down to the 1-yard line. Tim Brown with a spectacular 43-yard play.
You want to know why Tim Brown is another Raider who will probably be in the Hall of Fame when he's done. That play typifies his career.
82nd catch of the year.
He's one of the many Heisman Trophy winners who have played for the Raiders. You see here, once he gets the ball in his hands, that's when his athletic ability takes over, and that's when Tim Brown is his best.
Tim Brown, in his 12th year out of Notre Dame, has missed one game in the last 10 years. And his numbers are pure Hall of Fame. Now they go. Dak Crockett, bang, hits into the middle, and he's into the end zone, and the Raiders take a 9-0 lead. The Raiders dominated San Diego 28-9 in mid-November when they played the first time. Outgained the Chargers 417 yards to 225.
Cap on that this is an away game, even though it's in San Diego.
Yeah, they have a tremendous following here, the Raiders. Nedney drives the point after through, and so the Raiders, albeit eliminated from playoff contention, nonetheless build a 10-0 lead. And they'll have the other two.
He has been the consummate Oakland Raider throughout his entire career.
Missed his whole sophomore season as a pro. His second year, injured his knee in the opening game, returning a kickoff. But he's been a great one ever since. Here is now Kenny Bynum running back. Another kickoff, and their markers down all over the field. Here's Harbaugh now, trying to jumpstart an offense. He has just one touchdown pass in his last 4 games. Here's a penalty against the Raiders, a long first down penalty assessment. Jeff Graham, the intended receiver, and one of the best cover corners in football. Eric Allen is called for the foul.
Eric Allen tried to pull.
Or is he? Is it going the other way?
He might get away with one. He had his back arm grabbing Michael Ricks as they were going down the field. What a great play by Eric Allen. Veterans round as he did it.
Against the Chargers.
Pass interference. Offense.
It is.
81. Half the distance.
The call is on Jeff Graham.
First down.
As a wide.
So instead of the long first down on penalty yardage, it's now first down and 20 for the Chargers. Oakland coming with a big rush. Again, he airs it out. Graham is out there again. And Graham looks like he's come down with the ball. He has to the 38-yard line. A sensational play. Jeff Graham with his 49th catch. Good for 54 yards.
And look here, and the Chargers now run to the line of scrimmage, and this is what the no huddle can do for you. Watch here. The Chargers are already calling the play right now, and they're going to walk up and run another one as they run in some fresh wide receivers. And now the defense has to say, oh, man, we gave up a big play. Oh, they're about to snap the ball, and they can't get their wind back. Great play, and that's what the benefit of this offense is.
Chargers had no running game at Miami last week. 26 yards on 21 carries. They know they have to throw against a tough Raider defense. As we'll look back at that big catch for 54 yards by Jeff Graham.
Jeff Graham comes out and they'll switch places. Michael Ricks will cross, and then he goes up the field. And right here, the ball's in the air. And you see there's the separation that Jeff Graham gets. Eric Allen makes the recovery, and then the ball just goes right through his hands. Jeff Graham, great concentration. 2 plays in a row by those two. One went for the offense, one for the defense.
Now on second down and 13. Harbaugh from the shotgun. Standing in, near side throw, makes a connection, incomplete. Fred McCrary is leveled. No huddle. It's not a 2-minute hurry-up offense, but you see how the Chargers have done with the huddle offense, with the no huddle offense.
And you see the record hasn't improved, but the offense has. It's really sparked the offense. They've been more productive, and they've scored more points, and that's the bottom line.
Chargers had a midseason 6-game losing streak. They've had an inordinate number of injuries. Right now we're having some last-minute changes coming in. Reggie Davis comes in as an extra tight end. And we need an extra pass blocker. Ball on the field. Harbaugh in trouble. Downs the ball way back at his 43-yard line. So he's going to have to air out another 50-yarder here.
Well, that's what happens in the no huddle, and that's one of the things you have to learn when you run the no huddle. Yeah, they had to run a guy on late. They had a guy that wasn't out in the huddle. But you know what? They didn't huddle in the first place, so the play clock, they still had plenty of time. The offense kind of felt like they had to get it off or they were going to get a delay of game penalty. But because they didn't huddle, they had plenty of time. And that was the reason for the bad snap, I believe.
Darrell Russell, 3 years in the league, going to his second Pro Bowl in a row. He was the guy putting the pressure on. Darian Gordon's back. Darren Bennett hits a high punt. Gordon from the 5. Good special teams coverage by the Chargers. Knocks him down at the 10-yard line.
Separates the great ones from the good ones.
He's been playing tremendous football. He's always occupied by 2, sometimes 3 blockers. Darrell Russell is on the offensive side. The Raiders go to Tyrone Wheatley, who's knocked down by Norman Hand. Short game out to the 12-yard line.
This one.
Wheatley, the big 230-pound tackle breaker. Napoleon Kaufman, the sprinter out of the University of Washington. Here's Gannon. Buying time with his good feet, and he goes to Tim Brown running in the open field again. Tim Brown, who absolutely ate up the Chargers in the first meeting this year with 7 catches for well over 100 yards. Is almost over 100 yards today. He's up to 90 yards catching the ball and 2 catches.
So many people today in the National Football League think big plays, you got to throw the ball down the field. Well, you don't have to when you've got Tim Brown. Just throw the ball short, and that's what Rich Gannon has done so effectively. The Raiders have in their offense the ability to hit Tim Brown and James Jett with short passes, but they catch that ball while they're running full speed. That gives them the opportunity to make the big play like Tim Brown just did.
He's made 2 now. Junior Seau says the thing that makes Rich Gannon so tough is his ability to run and to improvise. He said you can't practice against it. You're seeing it for the first time.
Exactly right, and even Rich Gannon can't practice it.
Makes good decisions. That's what Gruden said sets him apart. Here's a long ball. Mickens heading for the ball, and he can't hold on to the 2-yard line. Terry Mickens, a fleet wide receiver out of Florida A&M. Unable to make the play. Second. Gannon effective throwing. 5 of 8 for 122 yards. Changing the play. Chargers aligning to blitz. Here it comes. They pick it up and go to the run to Wheatley. And Tyrone Wheatley takes it ahead for a couple of yards. Rich Gannon out of the University of Delaware, the Blue Hens. He is now the quarterback coach of the Raiders is Gary Stevens, who spent 9 years as the quarterback coach of the most prolific passer in NFL history, Dan Marino at Miami.
And all these numbers that you see, these are career highs for Rich Gannon. He stepped in as the Oakland Raiders starter and had his best year as a professional, and that's exactly what the Raiders signed him to do. And the thing that sets him apart this year is the fact that he has not made the big mistake, and his scrambling and his improvisation has made the difference.
20 touchdown throws, 11 interceptions. He said his biggest attribute is I don't quit. He gets sacked, though, back at the 48-yard line. Second sack of the day. Rayleigh Johnson doing good work. The pass rusher from Arkansas, number 99 for the Chargers, and a penalty marker's down.
Knew it was going to be against them.
Offside. Defense. Nose tackle. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Most good quarter.
Kansas City Chiefs have 9-5 with 4 straight wins.
That's also the last game in the Kingdome for the regular season game.
Gannon on 3rd and 4. Sidearms the ball and is separated from Tim Brown. Nicely done by Mike Dumas. A dangerous safety. He has 2 sacks along with 2 interceptions. Number 38 from Indiana. Joe Nedney is at his distance. He's hit a 52-yarder earlier. Here's another try from 52. Again, he hits it hard. Is it going to get there? It is not. Short and wide. And so the Chargers will take over the ball, trailing the Oakland Raiders 10-0.
players that those kids look up to.
Carney with 26 of 30 field goals for the season. Another tremendous year, but the miss last week at Miami cost a possible victory. And here is a pick. It looks like the throw. Now Mike Ricks is going to get the catch. He's got the ball down to the 25-yard line. Michael Ricks coming down with the ball for a 32-yard gain. His 35th catch in his area of the field yet. Jermaine Fazand, all 260-plus pounds of him, a rookie from Oklahoma, bangs it in as the clock starts to wind down and out, concluding the first quarter of play. Fazand getting the start today. End of the first quarter with the score: Oakland 10, San Diego nothing. We'll return to San Diego right after this message. Happy holidays, everyone. Don CRIQUI with Steve Tasker at San Diego. Raiders know they won't make the playoffs for a 6th straight year, but they are battling for a 9-7 season, Steve, and 2 years ago they won 4 games.
Both these clubs are really looking to improve, and they have, and they're really looking for the offseason to turn around, get back into the season next year with a positive note, and have a shot at the playoffs from start to finish.
Here's a throw, an open guy, and Davis, but Harbaugh can't get on the ball. Rookie tight end Reggie Davis going for the ball, a bit of an overthrow.
Lance Johnstone came off the corner and got into Jim Harbaugh's vision. He knew he was going to have to let go of the ball. He didn't have time to put the ball right where he wanted. He was more worried about getting rid of it rather than putting it right where it was going to be a completion.
Harbaugh, who has quarterback playoff teams in 6 of his previous 12 seasons, standing in the shotgun on 3rd down. Makes the throw. That's Davis. And he is down close to the 17-yard line. Reggie Davis out of the University of Washington, taken down by another rookie, Eric Barton. Coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report. 81st meeting of the Chargers and the Raiders. San Diego had no touchdowns in 6 trips inside the 20-yard line. The last 6 times the Chargers have been in the red zone, including 4 times at Miami. They failed to score a touchdown. They're in the red zone now on 4th and 1. Harbaugh throws. He makes a connection. It's good for the first down. Guns the ball in nicely off the run. Michael Ricks makes the play. 36th catch of the year for the big receiver at 6'5", almost 240 pounds.
One of the things that the Chargers do very well is they use a lot of different people in their offense. Even though they run the no huddle, they have the ability to run different personnel packages on and off the field, and that's a real bonus for them in special situations like a 4th and 1.
4th and 1 turns into 1st and 10. The hallmark of winning quarterbacks, turning 3rd, in that case 4th down, into a 1st down. Fazand will not break anything long. Now they're starting up after the play, just like they like it in this series.
Now this is nothing new for the Chargers-Raiders game. You can always count on a 1 or 2 personal fouls and a couple of scuffles.
Jeff Triplett, what a week he's had. He's the official, as we mentioned earlier, who inadvertently threw the penalty marker that hit the offensive tackle Orlando Brown of the Cleveland Browns in the eye, and then Brown lost control in a rage. He knocked down with a 2-hand shove Triplett and has been suspended indefinitely by the league.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense. Number 24. Half the distance. Automatic 1st down.
Charles Woodson.
This is the replay of what happened. Guys getting up, climbing their feet, pushing in. One of the things they say about Charles Woodson.
That's Mincy. There's Woodson on the other
Mincy
side.
started. Charles Woodson's the guy that kind of finished it off. Charles Woodson is a cornerback, but he's not your normal cornerback. He's a guy that has a little bit of nasty in him. He's not one of those guys that only plays the pass. He can stuff the run, and he likes the contact. That's why he's a great one.
They call him the Sheriff, and he covers the whole field. 1st down and goal now for San Diego. Oakland in the lead, 10-0. Harbaugh takes a look, makes a throw. He's got a guy out there, and tight end Freddie Jones can't get to the ball. No markers, 2nd down and goal.
Jim Harbaugh not happy about either the way that play was executed or the call itself. Couldn't get that ball to Freddie Jones. A lot of guys dropping out, making sure Freddie Jones was covered. The Raiders know that once a team gets down into the red area, the tight ends become a much more used part of the offenses that they face. All the teams in the National Football League, when you get down close, they love the tight end.
Look at that. Only 1 touchdown in the last 9 quarters by the Chargers. They have not scored a touchdown in their last 30 offensive possessions. This time they go for the big back, Jermaine Fazan, who bangs ahead. He was the 60th player picked overall in the last draft as Mike Riley looks for a touchdown.
The Chargers have got a little more confidence in their offense these days, and Mike Riley knows that, it's like a hitter going out to hit it. Even though you're a pretty good hitter, if you are a good hitter, you're not going to get very many good pitches to hit, and that's the way he puts it. When you get down in the red zone, you got to know that those teams aren't going to give you anything easy, and you're going to have to earn everything that you get. They've had some fumbles down here. They have not executed very well in the red zone. It's been one of the things that has plagued them over the last month of this season.
Raiders with a huge defensive front. Dig in on 3rd and goal. Harbaugh takes a look, pump faking. He's got time, but nobody to go to. Now he's on the run. People scrambling all over the end zone. Tip ball could be picked. It's incomplete. So the Raiders do a terrific job. I mean, those receivers look like a fire drill in the end zone. People running every which way, but Harbaugh with a lot of time. He had 5 seconds at least. Had nowhere to go.
What a secondary play by the Raiders. Marquise Walker, Eric Allen, Charles Woodson, there was not an open receiver to be found anywhere on the football field. Jim Harbaugh had all day to throw the ball and couldn't find anyone. That is a defense that knows what it's doing down by the goal line.
And now what do you do is you fight for an 8-8 season, Steve, and have 4th down and goal coming up from the 4-yard line. Darian Gordon, 23, who was in as an extra defensive back, the punt returner. He's down on the field right now.
The Chargers are going to attempt a field goal as soon as the ball is put in play again, and at this point that's the right decision.
So while Darian is attended to, there's a timeout on the field. The Raiders in the lead. 12:03 to go in the first half. John Carney's on the field goal for the field goal unit out for San Diego. The 2nd most accurate field goal kicker in NFL history. Behind Hollis of Jacksonville is the most accurate. 21-yard field goal. And snap. Carney rushing for the ball. Downs it, and the Raiders will take over the ball at their 38-yard line. David Binn, who's been one of the best snappers in the NFL, that's all he does, sends a rocket back. I don't know who's at fault. We'll watch it again on replay, but there's a loss of 35 yards on the play.
Darren Bennett had absolutely no chance to grab that snap, and when a snap's that bad, you almost think perhaps they haven't had a fake on.
Yeah, they might have.
But if they did, nobody else knew about it.
Yeah, I think it might have been a fake to Darren Bennett, but he couldn't handle the ball.
He had no chance, and that's David Binn there, as you see. That's all he does is snap for punts and snap for field goals, and it's a science. I mean, you have to have a guy that specializes in it, but that was not a very special snap.
That's before that picture, before David Binn shaved his dome for Little Kids. Yeah, that could have been a fake, but whatever it was, it ends up with a change of possession and a 35-yard Raider advantage down the field as the ball caroms all the way back. And now the Raiders, after that short run, will have 2nd down and 9 coming up. Tuesday on CBS, a medical miracle gave him a new identity. The only catch, he can never tell the family he left behind. This is your last chance to see now and again on a special day and time. Tuesday at 10, 9 Central on CBS. 2nd down and 8. Gannon steps up, steps in, lets it go long. James Jett, the street one, takes it and loses it at the 14-yard line. Lakir Brown, rookie out of Grambling, was covering on the play and covering well. He's been a guy they've been going after a lot this year.
He really has. And watch here as you'll come back. He's going to throw the ball deep, and he's going to fall back and get into the play. Watch here as the ball is snapped. Rich Gannon tries to look to the left, but does not buy it. Darrell Lewis playing back in the defensive backfield at a safety. He's usually a cornerback. You see they're helping out Fakir Brown on the outside.
And that brings up 3rd down and 8. Gannon gets some time. He's been sacked twice. Now he's running out of it, dumps it off, and really throws the ball away. Good defense by the Chargers. So after the errant snap or aborted fake field goal, whatever it was, only the Chargers know, and they want to forget about it. John Gruden sees his team go 3 and out on offense, and they'll punt the ball back to San Diego.
And this is what the Charger defense wants to do. They want to harry Rich Gannon. They want to get in his face, make him make decisions, and take a hit. They want the opposing quarterback to go down and go down hard.
Charlie Jones back now to return the punt for San Diego. Fleet little guy doing good work up the middle of the field, crosses the 30 and gets close to the 33-yard line. And there it will be 1st down and 10. So the Chargers had a great chance but couldn't get points.
Investments. We help you invest responsibly. Sprint PCS. Experience the clear alternative to cellular. And by Honda, a winning lineup of cars, sport utility vehicles, and minivans.
There are the San Diego Chargers talking things over on the bench. Right now, their offense is on the field. The Chargers really had trouble pass blocking last week at Miami. Harbaugh was sacked 4 times, guilty of 2 intentional groundings because of the rush. He's not been sacked today. The Chargers, conversely, have gotten Gannon twice. Throw and a catch. Darrell Fletcher, little guy from Wisconsin who was a Rose Bowl MVP, and the Badgers going back to the Rose Bowl this year to play Stanford. Monday on CBS is the King of Queens' wife falling for another woman. Harbaugh calls here, Steve, 2nd and short yardage, 2nd and 4. He's been faced with a lot of long yardages. Here's a throw and a catch. He makes use of it, getting the ball downfield to his tight end, Freddie Jones. Big Freddie's not done till he's all the way down inside the 20-yard line. They're going to rule him out of bounds at the, looks like about the 19-yard line. 46-yard gain.
One of the things they spoke about in the NFL today was the fact that tackling has become a lost art in the National Football League, and you saw there as Freddie Jones just shrugging guys off like they were old coats. Watch as he catches this pass on the corner, a great pass route. You see there 1 guy's gone, 2 guys are gone as he gets up, and the 3rd guy finally knocks him out of bounds before pulling him down, or actually the 4th guy. Tackling is so key still, even at this level.
But Lombardi says it's blocking and tackling by experts that wins. He was ruled down to the 24-yard line, so on 1st down and 10, they go to the run and get about 4. Now we have a moment. Let's go to Jim Nance in New York. Jim?
All right, thank you, Don, and check it out. John Kitna and the Seahawks are sizzling. 2nd touchdown pass for Kitna today. 17-0, back to you.
Wow, that's a good way to come out of a losing streak. Beating one of the hottest teams in the league, the KC Chiefs. Here's a handoff. There's going to be a holding call against the San Diego Chargers as the umpire, who stands back there with the linebackers, fires in the flag.
This Chargers team has really struggled offensively. They were playing much better in the last month of the season when they did switch to the no huddle. But then last week in Miami.
Holding. Offense. 73. 10-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Last week in Miami, the entire offense really felt like it took a step backwards. They didn't score a touchdown, missed a field goal, couldn't get the ball moving. They couldn't score in the red zone, turned the ball over, really lost rhythm, did a lot of bad things offensively last week in Miami, and I think it stuck with them throughout the week.
How about those Colts? 3-13 last year, 13-2 this year, vying for home field in the American Conference playoffs as they head to Buffalo for their final regular season game next Sunday.
You can't say enough about that franchise and how they've turned it around, and it's things like that that give hope to teams, well, like the Raiders and the Chargers, who aren't in the playoffs this year. You get a 4-game swing with these 2 teams, and you've got a powerhouse headed into the playoffs, just like the Colts are this year.
That gives hope to teams like this. What casts doubt on the future is what's happened to 3 of the 4 Final Four teams last year. Harbaugh needing 18 yards for a 1st down. Standing in, takes a look. He can motor 2, heading for the 12th man, the sideline, and gets some yardage and gets out of bounds. No harm done, although there were some Raiders coming over there in ill humor. Jim Harbaugh out of the University of Michigan in his 13th year. As you see, Harbaugh versus Gannon, two veteran quarterbacks. It takes a while to maybe learn this trait.
A chance to use those lessons you've learned.
Harbaugh's learned a lot of lessons in his 13 seasons. And he's seen a lot of pass rushes, not any more fierce than that, as the rookie Eric Barton, a man they call a tackling machine, out of Maryland, 5th-round draft choice. He just ate up the Tampa Bay Bucks last week. Makes the sack.
Eric Barton's a guy that just got on the field last week. He got his first start, and his moving into the open side there, you'll see there as he takes the block on Terrell Fletcher and then moves off and makes the sack. Richard Harvey moved over to the strong side, which enabled Eric Barton to come in, and he has made the most of it. Got a sack on the first play from scrimmage last week and really never let up and has not looked back since.
That's right. He set the tone last week with that opening sack of Sean King. He had 8 tackles for the game. Here is the field goal try from 49 yards. What a beauty. So John Carney hits a big one, and the Chargers are on the board. 7:58 to go in the half, and San Diego trails 10-3. Are here in force.
It's really a truth in the National Football League. If you want to be big and bad in the NFL, you've got to be measured against the Raiders.
You got to be measured against your fans sometimes. Here is Carney, who hit what is officially a 48-yard field goal, kicking off down the field. And ball is run back now to the 33-yard line by Calvin Branch.
Involved. They're probably going to try and get John Ritchie and Tyrone Wheatley involved.
Gannon, seeing a shifting defense, pitches back. Hoffman at 185. He's not a tackle breaker, but if they give him a channel, he can go all the way. Eric Hill, the middle backer for the Chargers, was the first guy to give him a hit. Unbelievable season for the Oakland Raiders. I mean, they're so close to having one of the best records in the league. They lost on a last-second play in the opening game at Green Bay. They had a 1-point loss at Seattle. Blew a lead and lost to Denver. In a second Denver game, an overtime loss. Blew a 14-point lead and lost to Kansas City.
They have not lost a game by more than a touchdown all year.
Yeah, their average margin of defeat is 4.4 points. They have not won the close games. Here's Gannon, a big rush put out. Joe Pascal, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, calling a lot of blitzes, and now he's keeping the heat on Rich Gannon. Gannon started out hitting his first 5 of his first 7 passes. He's now missed his last 5. He's 5 for 12 for the game. On 3rd and 11, he pump fakes. Running, looking, he's sacked. Albert Fontenot comes through and gets him.
You want to talk about the close games that the Raiders have had. That is their record last year. They were 5-2 in games decided by a touchdown or less. And this year you can see how that's turned around. But you can also see that the number has improved. They've had 11 games decided by a touchdown or less. There's nobody can run off and leave the Raiders. They're just too good.
So John Gruden on the sideline, the 36-year-old head coach who took over a team that was 4-12 in '97, had an 8-8 last year, had that great start. 6-1 in '98.
Offense, 44.
Tailed off.
5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
And you put it together.
Charlie Jones back anticipating the punt now. He backpedals to his 17. Trying to go wide, and he does. He turns the corner, and Charlie Jones with a burst gets it all the way up the far sideline, close to the 49-yard line. Out of Fresno State, Charlie Jones breaks a big one and gives the Chargers very good field position when we come back to San Diego. 32-yard return. But he averages like 4 hours of sleep a night. They're getting their money's worth in the hard hit. Handoff to Fazand. A Marion Butts look-alike. A great fullback for the Chargers in years past. Fazand, some guy Bean Sid a few years ago. Here is Beekert on a blitz. Harbaugh on the run. And it's an incomplete pass.
Jim Harbaugh finding out what it's like to be chased by Greg Beekert. Greg Beekert, the middle linebacker for the Raiders defense. He's one of the few guys in the National Football League who stays on the field. He comes through the middle of the line. You'll watch here. He's the guy that's going to end up chasing Harbaugh from behind. Greg Beaker, Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator, says, I want him on the field all the time. I mean, if he's going to be my leader, I don't want him standing next to me on a crucial third down play. I want him on the field leading my guys in the battle, and Greg Beaker it is all the time.
Middle backer out of Colorado, 7th round pick in '93. Interesting, the running game today. The San Diego Chargers have had little run, 11 carries for 18 yards. The Oakland Raiders have had no running game. There's a penalty marker. Harbaugh comes in high. He had open tight end in the rookie Reggie Davis, but couldn't get him the ball.
That's one of the things about Jim Harbaugh when he steps up into the pocket. Sometimes he gets a little bit antsy and lets the ball go a little bit too soon. He's such a good athlete in the pocket. He buys himself a lot of time, and sometimes he forgets to use it. If he just calmed down right at the end of that and put just a little more touch down my neck.
Well, Harbaugh's ready for anything or anybody. Survived 7 years of Mike Ditka's tirades with the Bears. #1 draft choice of the Bears originally. Rowe and Terrell Fletcher putting on moves, but the good Oakland tacklers come up and knock him down. No gain on the play, short gain. It's going to be way short of a first down. And the Chargers will have to punt the ball back to Oakland.
That's how you, like we said, he's a guy that doesn't shy away from contact. And, you know, there has been a lot of said about the tackling in the NFL has, deteriorated. And I think one of the reasons is these teams can't practice hard. When you practice and have a lot of contact, you stay sharp in your tackling. But you spend so much time these days in the NFL healing up, you can't practice. You can't have a lot of contact in practice, and your tackling suffers because of it.
Now you're in General Hospital if you have a lot of contact in practice. Here's a punt hit downfield. Darian Gordon back at his 2-yard line. Living dangerously. He's taken down at the 12-yard line. Lewis in the NFC playoffs. Nobody. They are going to the Super Bowl. Nobody's come within shouting distance of them in the TWA Dome, where they're going to play all their home games. Unbelievable. They were almost out of business last year, and now they might be the best team in the league. They are the best team in the National Conference.
They are, and that's the great thing about this league is, you sit here and watch the Raiders and the Chargers play, and the Raiders had a chance before at the start of this game to get in the playoffs, which has since been taken away. But there were 20 teams with a shot at the playoffs at the start of this weekend in the National Football League. That's a great season for the NFL.
But some are dropping off now with today's results coming in. Here is Cannon throwing hard. James Jett extends to the ball, but can't come down with it. Gannon's now missed his last 7 throws. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS brings together the playoff puzzle with a season-ending doubleheader. And the first of 2, the Raiders take on the Chiefs. And then Peyton Manning and the AFC champion Colts go against Doug Flutie and the Bills. In the nightcap, most of you will see the Dolphins battle the Redskins. Some of you will see the Chargers, Randy and Jerry, on the NFL Today. Gannon throws hard. It's almost picked. Darrell Lewis, a guy who can take it back, almost had a touchdown interception. Lewis, who has more interceptions over the last 5 years than any other player in the American Conference, 29.
It is at this point in the game and late in the first half, the Charger defense has really taken over.
Now for Oakland. Gets it from his 2-yard line. He's not hit for big distance this year, Leo. Jones, who had the 32-yard punt return, his last return, you remember, watches this one carry him to a halt at the 43-yard line. So with 4:10 left to play in the first half, the Chargers get good field position. Coming up, Patriots 13-10. Harbaugh, quick throw, makes the connection. Hard hit put on by the middle backer, Beaker. Jim Harbaugh is looking to his post-football career. Here's some of the things he's talking about, being a landscaper in Vegas. I don't know what that's all about. There are a lot of people who'll see that get clipped there.
Well, he's been around. Look at there. Yeah, CBS announcer. Maybe he'll be up here with us. There's a guy. He's been around the league. We'll see what he does after his football career is over.
Harbaugh takes a look, dumps it off. There is Fletcher on the run. And he's ahead for a first down. Terrell Fletcher. Got to shoot low, and Terrell's running the ball.
And I think he's gained a lot of respect around the National Football League because of it.
Well, he's had that. He was the #1 passer in the league in '95, playing for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, within one throw of taking them to the Super Bowl. Incomplete at the 34-yard line. They go to Fletcher. Shortest guy in the field, getting a lot of looks from his quarterback. Almost impossible. Chargers continue to align without a huddle. Not a hurry-up offense, but it is a no-huddle offense. Throw, and here is Fletcher as he's taken down after a short gain. Now he's still going. They thought they had him. He spins off it and gets down to the 27-yard line. An 8-yard gain on the play. One of the reasons the Chargers like the no-huddle is Harbaugh calls it organized chaos, because you don't know what's going to happen. A lot of good things can happen for you.
Exactly. You see Terrell Davis. Watch the tackle. Terrell Fletcher, I mean, he goes down. His knee never touches the ground, and he keeps his balance. That's the mark of a great receiver out of the backfield. Just keep your balance.
Raider opponents have struggled on third down, but the Chargers are able to convert with the throw to Charlie Jones. So the little guys having big days.
Charlie Jones, the guy's suffered from back spasms, who's actually their punt returner, and you can see there as he comes on off the field now, another personnel grouping is going to be used here as we hit to the two-minute warning. One of the things the Chargers can do.
Blitz. Good throw up the middle. It's going to go in for a touchdown as McCrary's under the goal line. The arms go up, and Fred McCrary, with his first touchdown of the season, brings San Diego within an extra point of tying the game. Not what Coach Gruden wanted to see.
The Chargers offense, who took a step backward last week in Miami and hasn't scored a touchdown in 2 games, finally breaks loose, and they're doing it through the air. That's the first touchdown pass the Chargers have thrown in the last 15 quarters.
And the first touchdown of any kind in the last 31 possessions. So the Chargers rise up 10 straight points, and they've tied the game with 1:53 to go in the first half.
That's the first touchdown in 9 quarters. They have not thrown a TD pass. That's almost 4 games, 15 quarters. That's how they've struggled, and that's what they were hoping that this no-huddle offense would bring them. You see here, Jim Harbaugh reads the blitz, takes the shot, and goes down. Fred McCrary goes into the end zone, and that's what the Chargers have done all day. They've hit the Raiders for short passes and let their runners run with the ball after the catch.
So Fred McCrary, who was a free agent acquired in the offseason, he was a Philadelphia Eagle last season, with his first touchdown as a San Diego Charger. Monday night, CBS begins with The King of Queens, starring Kevin James and Jerry Stiller, followed by Ladies Man, and then Everybody Loves Raymond, the number. Napoleon Kaufman with a new contract as a Oakland Raider, and here comes Kaufman, loses his footing, slips, and he goes down at the 17-yard line with 1:48 to play in the first half. 1960 in the American Football League, tied up at 10-10. The Raiders and the Chargers meeting for the 81st time as the handoff doesn't get much. The tough San Diego defense absolutely slamming the door on a Raider running game that tore up San Diego in the first meeting November 14th.
You see there's Mo Collins stays down. They're playing against a Charger team that is. This is the replay. This is Mo Collins right here. He'll get rolled up by number 96, Norman Hand, and that's what I mentioned a little earlier. You can't see what's behind you when you're trying to block for the running back.
Franklin has hit a dry spell. What will he go to now? Deep in his own end with 1:28 to play in the half. 2nd down and 8. Tyrone Wheatley is Stonewall. Lewis Bush and Junior Seau. Well, the way they
2 weeks. He's played in both.
Out of a 3rd down hole deep in their own end late in the first half. 43 seconds to play in it. Gannon, fastball. Brown is hit hard. It's intercepted by Seau, who fancies himself as a tight end. Seau still working with the ball. He laterals the ball. Just craziness about the field. Seau ending up with the ball. He looked to Lato, but nobody could get there. There's a penalty marker down. A 16-yard return. We're going to have to watch this back. Junior Seesaw with the interception.
The ball was thrown at Tim Brown, and it was tipped up in the air. Seesaw came down with it, and this one's going against the Raiders. Things started out so much in favor of the silver and black, and in the last quarter and a half, the Chargers have stormed back because of their defense and Junior Seesaw.
After the play was over, personal foul, 63. The passing team.
Barrett Robbins, the center, is called for a
Half
personal
the
foul.
distance. First down.
See, the ball's tipped in the air. Seesaw comes down with it. He does have some plays in the offense for him being a tight end. And watch here at the end of the play when he goes down. Now look, he's trying to option pass it and throw it out of there. And there you see Robbins.
30 seconds to work with. They have one timeout left. Harbaugh swings it out. Here's Terrell Fletcher. And he wisely steps out of bounds at about the 7-yard line.
Now you see that play.
He fancied himself as an option quarterback. Couldn't find anybody to pitch it to, but he does give the Chargers a chance to take the lead before halftime. They're in sure shot field goal range. The Raiders looking for a turnover. A throw and a catch. Michael Ricks taken down by the Raider defense at the 6-yard line. Penalty marker down, and the clock is ticked down to 14 seconds to play.
Looks like Anthony Newman's a little bit animated around the officials. You got to think he's probably the guy they called on.
I think, yeah, he's very animated.
Face mask.
There's no official
Grabs
review.
the jersey. Running.
When I said they're reviewing in a private discussion.
Yeah.
Third down.
Well, the
Not as much as he used to be, but he's averaging over almost 4.5 yards a run. He's going to run. There he goes. Jim Harbaugh takes it down, and he's down to the 1-yard line, and they call a timeout. Their final timeout for the Chargers with 5 seconds left to play.
They're going to go for the 3 points rather than try for the touchdown. I think that's a smart move. You got a whole half of football to play. Give yourself the lead. Put the Raiders on the defensive. No, and David Binn, the same guy who missed the snap earlier, will try and get this one on the money.
Snap, set down, and kick are all good, and the first half concludes with John Carney hitting a field goal that puts the Chargers on a 13-0 run, and that gives them the lead. The end of the first half, San Diego 13, Oakland 10. Coming up, the NASDAQ halftime report. The Chargers had 129 yards offense. The Raiders had 7.
That's been the difference. The Raiders came out and played extremely well. They opened the scoring with a field goal, then got a great pass reception, or great run. Right there you see. Then they come back, and then they folded up their tents after Zach Crockett scored his touchdown. Jim Harbaugh drops back, completes that pass to Fred McCrary, and then they tied it up at 10 apiece. And at the end of the half, they got the field goal to give the Chargers a lead. And you see here by the statistics, the Chargers have really bounced back after a slow start and now lead in the total yardage. Both teams have turned the ball over once, and that was a push.
Napoleon Kaufman back deep now. Looking to give the Raiders some field position as John Carney right puts the ball. A high spinning kick that'll carry inside the 10-yard line. Here comes Kaufman from the 7. With a burst, he turns to the outside, and he does indeed give the Raiders good field position to start the third quarter. As he runs the ball all the way out past the 35-yard line, out past the 40. We'll see they ruled him out of bounds. It's ruled a 28-yard return.
That's one of the benefits of having a running back by committee. Napoleon Kaufman, who's a great running back, when he has to carry the load or carry the ball 25, 30 times a game out of the backfield, he's not available to return kicks. But now with Tyrone Wheatley in there carrying his share of the load, now you're free to use a guy like Napoleon Kaufman and his big play abilities all over the football field at any time.
Raider offense needing big plays. They've been shut down in the second quarter, just 7 yards, and absolutely stonewalling the Raider running game is just slamming the door. One stretch in the second quarter. The Raiders had 11 carries for the game for a total of 11 yards running the ball. Perella, who's having a tremendous year, a former Buffalo Bill, makes the stop.
You see there John Gruden talking to his offensive side, and there's John Perella getting ready to do it. Look, he's smiling. He knows we're playing good defense, guys. Let's go. Let's keep it up. Those guys are grunts down there. They got blood on their pants. They got grass on their face. They're loving life.
Gannon 0 for his last 9 throws. The one that was caught was by Junior Seau, an interception. This one he hits Tim Brown, the great one from Notre Dame, with a 19-yard gain. Tim Brown, they'll be going to him the whole second half because he's probably the best player on the field.
And they went to him the whole first half. You'll see here, short pass, you run. You notice that one thing that they do with Tim Brown, when he catches this pass, he's at a dead run. And then later on, he'll catch another ball, throws it, he's on a dead run again. Get him the ball. Don't let him hook up, catch the ball standing still. Get him the ball when he's running flat out.
The 8-time Pro Bowler with 3 catches today for 109 yards. Kaufman turns it outside and gets out to the 30-yard line. Napoleon Kaufman turns the corner and is finally run out of bounds, but rookie cornerback Fakir Brown.
He took that micro. Our guy got hit over there. He's all right, isn't he? He's a gamer, isn't he? Put the headphones back on. David Dunn is his name. There, he's okay. I'm all right. He took it. Napoleon Kaufman came out. He's the guy that holds the mic that lets you hear the players. Watch here. Oh, everybody's part of the game. Merry Christmas there, pal.
He's more than all right. He's on television. We can't do without these great CBS technicians. Here is a throw in the flat. Running with the ball is Dudley. Dudley inside the 20. Inside the 10 and down to the 7-yard line. Dudley, a #1 pick out of Ohio State in '96. With a 24-yard gain. Never reached the levels they thought he'd reach until he had an offseason meeting with Tim Brown and said, what do I have to do to be great? And Brown said, you're #1, you've got to be much more aggressive in the way you prepare and the way you play.
This is the oh-no screen. You'll see here when you run this in practice, the defense says, ha-ha, we got you. And then you throw back, and Ricky Dudley's all by himself. And in practice, you can hear the defense say, oh, no. And they all start chasing him. The oh-no screen works to perfection.
Worked well there for the big gainer, so the Raiders now challenging for the go-ahead touchdown. 1st and goal. Wheatley. Boy, the Chargers are giving up nothing to the running game. Just tremendous run defense by San Diego. Lou Bush, the lead tackler there, 58.
One of the things, if you want to play well in the NFL and you want to win consistently, what you're able to do is to take something away from your opponent that they count on. The Oakland Raiders count on their run game, and the Chargers are taking it away.
Oakland with a total of 25 yards rushing today. This is the #1 running team in the NFL coming in. 138 yards a game on the average. But not against the Chargers today, and they ripped the Chargers running the ball in the earlier meeting. Gannon just fires something into the end zone, but they had to hurry because Seau was coming on a blitz.
Junior Seau just blew this play up in the backfield. He came in.
Club record of Fred Biletnikoff, his receivers coach. They're going to be going to him again soon, maybe now. Brown off the left flank. Gannon looks over the middle. Here's where he's at his best, improvising on the run, pump faking. He throws hard. The ball is caught. It is a touchdown to Dudley. Ricky Dudley with his 9th touchdown catch of the year. The guy that was counseled by Tim Brown on how to get better. A 7-yard play.
The Chargers defense is standing there. They're just looking around each other, their hands on their hips in the end zone. The ball was tipped. It was a throwaway. John Ritchie tips the ball, and it ends up in the hands of Ricky Dudley. And the Chargers defense, they can't believe it. They had this play snapped off with no place to go. And a fluke of a tip by John Ritchie puts the ball right in Ricky Dudley's hands.
And it concludes a terrific opening drive that began with a very good kickoff return by Kaufman. And finally, Gannon on the payoff end with his 21st touchdown pass of the year, the 9th thrown to Dudley. Managers, they see their team rally with 13 straight points to take the lead before halftime. Now trail. Bynum with the kickoff return for the Chargers, and he's to the 21-yard line. As we watch the touchdown throw, Gannon to Dudley.
Rich Gannon is going to come out and roll to his right, and you'll see what he sees down in the end zone. You'll see Tim Brown come across late, and Ricky Dudley moving to the corner of the end zone. Right here, Rich Gannon throws it, and Lou Bush actually tips it. They're number 58 for the Chargers. And Ricky Dudley catches the ball on the tip. That's great concentration.
Dudley was a tremendous basketball player at Ohio State, played varsity 3 years, started. He was a co-captain 1 year. He's 6'6", 250. Averaged 13.5 points and almost 8 rebounds a game 1 year. So if you got to throw it high, he can go up and get it for you. That one was a low ball. And Gannon has now thrown the ball 20 times. He's completed just 8.
Defense. Offside. Number 51.
Hey, if you're
Made it to the quarterback.
You're going to be
5-yard
offside.
penalty, still first down.
Going to be offside, make it a good one, right?
Yeah, they always say if you're going to make a mistake, make it full speed. Well, there you go.
Alex Manos jamming the board of the team. Not thrilled at the moment as his team now has fallen behind, but here's a good play call for Harbaugh. 1st and 5. Pass ball drilled into Ritz. And it's incomplete. And now for an NFL update, we go back to New York and to Jim Nantz. Jim?
All right, Don, this is shades of Steve Tasker in his glory days at Buffalo. It's Elvis Gerback to Hollywood Joe Horn, and he scores the touchdown, and the Chiefs are within 6 with 6:43 to go, third quarter. And let's go back to Don and Steve.
You must have me confused with somebody who could play.
You were on the other side of the ball most of the time, chasing somebody that had it.
That's right.
Fazan, the big running back, takes the ball straight ahead off tackle and gets to the 28-yard line. And it brings up 3rd down in less than 2 yards as Gannon looks over some printouts. What's on those things? Bobby Hoying next to him, 14, the backup quarterback. Harbaugh not risking a run, apparently, as he takes it himself. Going on 3rd and 2 with a throw. Connection made. First down made out to the 33-yard line. Beautifully run pattern by Terrell Fletcher, who now has 40 catches for the year. And he knew right where to go, Terrell Fletcher. Now Mike Riley, who likes the hurry-up offense because he coached 2 Grey Cup winners in Canada where they have only a 20-second play clock, he was telling us.
He's very used to it. He knows that there's not much time between plays. He has a better awareness, I think, than guys who grew up in the NFL or cut their coaching teeth in the NFL. He knows what it takes to prepare players to run a quick offense.
And Harbaugh likes it. He called it organized chaos. He says because guys don't think about what can go wrong. They just go out and start making plays. It works fast. Here's a play made out to the 48-yard line. Freddie Jones taking the ball over the middle for a first down. A 14-yard gain on the play.
Freddie Jones, the tight end, not very many people around the NFL know about, but he has the 3rd most catches for any tight end in the AFC. He's behind Gonzalez of Kansas City and Frank Wycheck in Tennessee. Those are 2 pretty good tight ends, and Freddie Jones has put together a very good year here in San Diego.
He's another terrific basketball player, particularly in high school in North Carolina. Harbaugh often talking about the matchup he likes is Freddie Jones against anybody. Harbaugh, ball free. Looks like a live ball, and the Chargers have it, but back at their 33-yard line. Kenny Bynum makes a big play to recover the loose ball. Has a blindside hit, frees the ball from Jim Harbaugh.
How many times have you seen it? And I know what it's like on the sidelines when your team pops the ball loose. You say, just cover it. Don't try and pick it up. Lance Johnstone, I think, comes in. Harbaugh loses the ball. There's one guy that misses it. There's another guy that misses it. Another guy. Finally, Terrell Fletcher, or Kenny Bynum, excuse me, comes up with a football. If you just fall on it, that's all you need to do.
He fell on it, but he did it 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So now it is 2nd down and 25. Swing pass to Fletcher. Terrell Fletcher, you got to throw a net over him and sit on him to get him down. And that'll bring up 3rd down and long. Friday, CBS Sports rocks with the Wells Fargo Sun Bowl. It'll be the high-octane offense of the Oregon Ducks against Tyrone Carter and the Golden Gophers of Minnesota with their rock-hard defense. Live from El Paso, Texas.
And the Raiders are going into their, it looks like a prevent defense almost on a 3rd and 21.
That's what they're in. Dropping guys way back deep. Harbaugh takes a look downfield on the run, buys some time. Throws near side. He gets the ball to Ricks. It's short of a first down, but a nicely executed play. under duress by Jim Harbaugh and his big receiver Michael Ricks. It was good for a 16-yard gain, but the Chargers have to punt.
The one thing that does, it makes sure that the Chargers are going to be able to have the opportunity to pin the Raiders inside their 20-yard line. And it all comes about field position.
Kenny Bynum was really running kind of open on the play.
Yeah, but he's got 3rd and 21. He's standing at the line of scrimmage, and that's why Harbaugh didn't take him.
It's the high end over end punt to Darian Gordon, who lets it hop. It rolls down inside the 5. Looked to me like a touchback. Are they going to call it one?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
He kicked the woolly ball. You know, he's an Australian rules kicker, and he kicked that ball like a kickoff. And when it lands, it's going to hop straight up. And that time it hopped just enough to get into the end zone.
Clear and sunny, just like they like it in San Diego, California. The Raiders have come back to take a 17-13 lead in the 3rd quarter with the ball now. 1st down and 10 at their 20. The running game has not been there for the best running team in the NFL so far this season. Norman Hand makes the knockdown on Kaufman there.
You see the success and the failures of the Raiders offense. This is the first drive of each half. They've both totaled 100 yards. And the 6 other drives have totaled 91. You think about why that is, and obviously the players come out just a little fresher, a little bit better, knowing what they're going to do in that first drive of each half, but they can't sustain it.
Gannon throws a crossing pattern to Mickens, who is ahead for a gain of about 7 yards out to the 27-yard line, where he's quickly knocked down by Greg Jackson, who was running stride for stride with him.
This is a team there with, you see Mickens, who's the guy that caught that pass. This is a team that really put it all together a week ago and have not been able to duplicate that performance. Terry Mickens is a guy who, like all these Raiders receivers, is fast. That's the only word you can use to describe all those guys. They're all just fast.
They've always had a track team out there at the skill positions. Speed kills. Jim Brown in motion. Running a crossing pattern. Gannon pump fakes to him, dumps it off nicely. And the ball is taken by James Jett, who's ahead for his 37th catch of the year for a 6-yard gain. Tonight on 60 Minutes, if there were no nuclear weapons in the Gulf, how did American soldiers get exposed to radiation during the Gulf War? It's tonight on 60 Minutes. 5:25 to go, 3rd quarter. Raiders learning earlier in the day, by virtue of the Bills' overtime win at New England, that the Raiders cannot make the playoffs. So John Gruden's team now fighting for a winning season. Napoleon Kaufman tries again to find some place to go. Well, you talk about in this league, they measure outstanding running backs by the 4.0 per carry average. This guy has a per carry average for his career of slightly over 4.8.
That's a dynamite average. And you see here these last 7 games, he has really gotten after it. And so has the Raider offense as a whole. This is a team that has started running the football, and I mean running the football well.
Well, Kaufman had 122 yards last week against Tampa Bay, including a 75-yard touchdown run. Gannon sees something he doesn't like. He's seen a lot of things in that Charger defense he hasn't liked, and so he takes a timeout. Young man asking himself, are we having fun yet? Well, we got Oakland holding to a 17-13 lead, and with the ball, 2nd down and 7. Again, a nice throw, tip ball, and those good hands of Dudley results in a 1st down play, a 9-yard play. That's the basketball background. He's as good as there is on a tip ball.
That's why basketball players are great to have on your football team. They're used to getting tipped balls and jumping up for rebounds as Ricky Dudley comes out and the ball's behind him. We saw him earlier in the game reach back and miss a ball. This time he tips it to himself. That's the soft hands of a hoops player.
Oakland with a very limited rushing game. 18 carries, 29 yards total, a 1.6 a carry. Gannon steps in. He's so good at pulling it down and taking off and then sliding to a halt very close to a first down. 9-yard gain on the play. Sunday stories. Peyton Manning, second-year quarterback for the Colts. First time in 28 games without a touchdown pass, but he did lead his team to its 13th victory in 15 games. Tied for the best record in the American Conference.
For a lot of years to come, Peyton Manning is going to be the yardstick by which all rookie quarterbacks are measured. Not only did he have a good rookie season, he took every snap for his team, and then he answered it with a huge sophomore year. In this, his second year, leading his team to what is now tied for the best record in football.
Unbelievable. If they're a Super Bowl team, here's a hit of Zach Crockett runs, and on a short yardage play, he's very close to a first down. Seems to have it. Steve McNair of the Tennessee Titans, who'd been in a 6-game drought without a touchdown pass till last week, tearing open the Jaguars' pass defense.
He had 5 TD touchdown passes. Now Marshall Faulk, the receiving yards, rushing yards. This is a guy at 258 here across the NFL. He actually threw for a 27-yard TD today. All that going on across the league in the 16th week of the year.
There's a guy who was a high school All-American basketball player, Moss. They finally get the ball to Big John Ritchie. The second-year fullback out of Stanford makes his 36th catch of the year. Good for 12 yards and a Raider first down.
That play-action pass was exactly and identical to the one that Ricky Dudley just caught, except he's a tight end catching it instead of a fullback. Ricky Dudley had lined up in the backfield and ran the exact same play for a catch a moment ago. We'll see if they go back to it again.
Oakland realizing this San Diego defense just is not going to open up the run. Just keeps stonewalling it. So Gannon moving the ball all over the field, hitting a lot of different receivers. Long ball. Tim Brown, he's fouled inside the 10-yard line.
No doubt about it.
They reinforced the call, too. One call, one flag came in, and 2 others quickly followed.
No question, but watch as he comes out, makes a quick move in, and goes to the outline. And when he looks back for the ball's in the air right there, and he stops. Charles Dimry makes no attempt.
27. Ball at the spot of the foul. First down.
And Charles Dimry right there is thinking, I just got to foul him so I don't give up the touchdown. I'll take the penalty. I just can't give up the touchdown. And there's no question.
Gannon, who went for on that 0 for 9 passing stretch, has now hit 7 of 8 in the second half. He closed the first half, missing his last 9 throws. But he's been hot as the Raiders have taken back the lead. Wheatley into traffic, 2 arms on the ball, down to the 8-yard line. Wheatley trying to get his first 1,000-yard rushing season. He's got a game to go after this. Gannon with a great fake, and he throws it away. Kenny Shedd was in the vicinity, but Big John Perella, a 290-pound defensive tackle who already has 5 sacks as an inside rusher this year.
It's been great for him.
He's the guy that told us that he loves playing the Raiders. He's called it a street fight with helmets on. Third down, swing pass, he goes high, and backup tight end Jeremy Brigham, a former Washington Husky, can't come down with the ball. So the field league history have done in their first years. Bill Walsh was 2-14. Jimmy Johnson 1-15 at Dallas. Chuck Noll 1-13. As he now takes a team that was 4-12 in '97 to 8-8 last year, looking to go to 9-7 this year. And next season, who knows where the Raiders might be. 26 seconds to play in the third quarter. Raiders with the field goal now build a 7-point lead. High spinning kick. And Kenny Bynum. Look at this little Terrell Fletcher get out in front and throw a block, and now markers come in.
Merry Christmas.
And your horn gets stuck.
Yeah.
Here's another early lead. And it's going to be an open play as Harbaugh, still with good arm strength, goes down to Ricks. Ricks caught it, but I don't think he was in bounds. He was ruled out of bounds.
day.
One touchdown, and he's been intercepted once. Harbaugh steps up, but too late. Ball on the field. Lance Johnstone, he is a terror coming from the right end to rush position, coming to Harbaugh's blind side. Lance Johnstone had a 13-yard fumble return for a touchdown last week against Tampa Bay. A return to San Diego after this word from your local station.
Holiday season there.
Yes.
They were up early yesterday morning.
Right now, the ball is positioned at the 41-yard line. Those aren't debutantes the Raiders bring in the stands.
No, they don't.
Spikes in their shoulder pads. Harbaugh takes a look. He's going to go long.
Gone.
It's out there. Jeff Graham diving at the ball. Eric Allen breaks it up. A clean play. Official right on it. And it is incomplete.
That was an outstanding defensive play by Eric Allen, staying with Jeff Graham, playing the ball all the way. So many times a defensive back will forget about the ball and start playing the receiver. Looking, and we saw it earlier with Charles Demery on the other side. But look here, Eric Allen, his eyes are up looking at the ball, times the jump. Great ball skills there. Just getting up in the air and batting it away, making it look easy. You can't do it any better than that.
Harbaugh from the shotgun on 3rd down and 12. Now he's got an open guy, but it's almost picked off. Charlie Jones was running free on the near sideline, but then recovering beautifully was Anthony Newman, who almost had the pick. There is a penalty marker down.
Holding. Defense.
Defensive holding.
24.
First down, San
5-yard
Diego.
penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, Charles Woodson was holding right there. You see him holding Charlie Jones, trying to get loose, and that's illegal there. And that's why Charlie Jones was so wide open coming down the sideline. Woodson was holding him so badly, he fell down.
Gruden says that Woodson's going to be a tremendous player for a long time because he knows what it takes to be a great player. He really takes care of himself, really prepares. Almost a pick. His receiver losing his footing. Harbaugh had the ball right where it needed to be, but usually the sure-footed Charlie Jones lost his footing, so it's incomplete. Live pictures of today's game are brought to you by the Sanyo Lightship, one of the largest airships in the world. It holds over 150,000 cubic feet of helium. Another marker down.
This was very late.
In college, they look back. It's 13 guys out there sometimes.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot more than people realize. You see there's the yardage, and wow, what a seesaw battle in yards.
A brief conference. All these NFL officials are selected from.
On that, I think they're going to clarify
Correction on
that.
the down. It's still first down.
And they actually do have officials. There are certain responsibilities before each play. And the field judge and the back judge, that's their job, is to make sure there's 12 on their side of the football, or 11 on their side of the football and not 12.
John Gruden not pleased as now it's first down and 5 for San Diego. The pitch back. Free ball on the field. The Chargers get it back, but they lose yards. And now a penalty marker comes in after the play as we have guys. A little bit of shuffling there, and some kicking actually went on.
Von Parker absolutely tackled and was grabbing and wrestling with Darrell Russell, and Darrell Russell was trying to get away. And that's where the flags came in late. The ball was on the ground.
Darrell Russell is a tremendous football player. He was the second player picked in the draft.
You can see there he's insane. He was just getting grabbed. I mean, it wasn't even Clay. He wasn't even trying to be blocked. He was just wrestling to the ground, trying to throw him like, you know, like you would a cow or something. You see, here's the fumble. Ball comes right out. And Roman Fortin falls on it. You see there,
Oh,
you
man.
can see that. That's enough to get you going.
Darrell Russell back in his hometown, San Diego, California, the #1 pick of the Raiders back in '97, the 2nd pick overall. The first pick that year was the huge offensive tackle from Ohio State that went to the Rams. Who is that?
Orlando Pace.
That's it.
Holding. Offense. Right guard. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
I mean, he's a game changer.
Yeah, he really is. A lot of penalties on and nothing but what you would expect from a Raider Chargers game. And those penalties, even though the Chargers only have 7 of them, they've been crucial.
But you know, the Raiders, they often talk about the most penalized team in the league. As the coach is frustrated now, John Gruden, but the Raiders have won Super Bowls in years when they've been the most penalized team in the league.
You see there, John Gruden thinks, hey, the ball should have been back there. The ball should have been back from where he fumbled it, not from where they recovered it.
But from a 1st and 5, the Chargers now find themselves with 1st and 15. Harbaugh throws. He comes in high. A poorly thrown ball. And not the kind your receiver likes to go up in the air with his back to the defense on. Jeff Graham now a Raiders down back at the 37-yard line. And that's one of the best. Russell Maryland.
One of the things that Russell Maryland's able to do, especially in the run game for the Raiders defense, it's his job, as well as that is Darrell Russell. Yeah, make all the tackles you can, but just soak up blockers and let your linebackers run to the football, and he's very good at that.
Better go. John Gruden talking to referee Jeff Triplett. Something he didn't like, probably the spot of the ball after the call against the Chargers.
Yeah, the penalty's offset, and he wanted to know where the ball was placed and why, and he never got an explanation to his satisfaction before the next play count, and he was very unhappy about it. And there's a couple of coaches around the National Football League that wear their intensity like a mask, and he's one of them. You can tell when it's game day when you look at John Gruden.
2nd down and 12 coming up for the Chargers. Down by 7 early in the 4th quarter. Harbaugh, they give him time, but he comes in with a low throw that's slapped back at him. That was James Harris, a big rangy defensive end. Both the defensive ends, good to see James Harris making plays because he's an underrated player. Both defensive ends for the Raiders are from Temple University in Philadelphia. Harris and Lance Johnstone.
And they're both, you know, kind of the same type of player. Tall, rangy, very fast, in contrast to the inside guys like Darrell Russell and Russell Maryland.
Maryland was shaken up, walked off. Okay, there's a very good young player in there who plays behind Maryland, and Grady Jackson. Harbaugh lofts a long ball. Caught at the 10-yard line. Jeff Graham with a 49-yard play. He's like the long bowman of Agincourt, just firing away these long, high arcing long balls that are being caught.
This was almost just like a Hail Mary. You see there, Jeff Graham hesitates, squats down, then takes off. The only guy with a chance to make the play is Anthony Newman. He gets over there, but Jeff Graham just battles him for the football. That's what quarterbacks love out of their receivers. Just go up and make a play. I know it's not the perfect throw. Just help me out, and Jeff Graham did.
Yes, he did.
So the Chargers now challenging, and Jim Harbaugh not wanting to make a mistake on this big opportunity to possibly tie the game, calls a timeout. 13:23 left to go in the game. It's 20-13 Raiders. Don CRIQUI with Steve Tasker back at San Diego, California. Jim Harbaugh, quarterback for the Chargers, has completed 4 passes today of over 30 yards. That 49-yarder now gives them first down and goal at the Raider 10. Timing throw up the middle. It's caught. Touchdown, Jeff Graham. And the Chargers are with an extra point of tying the game. High fives all the way around in Alex Pano's owner's box.
He's in there with about 3 or 4 or 5 of his grandsons. His son Dean is in there with him as well. What a great game they're witnessing today. Jim Harbaugh coming down, a gritty performance. Drops back just a quick slant to Jeff Graham. Jeff Graham has really been the go-to guy for the Chargers this year. He has really elevated his play from at any point in his career.
Well, John Carney, the extra point guy, he's now 3 points away from 1,000 points for his career. There's 998. It's a good one as it ties the game at 20-all with 13:18 left to play. We'll be back with the San Diego kickoff in a moment. Back to San Diego. The Chargers tying the game now. The game has gone back and forth. Raiders led early 10-0. Chargers led at the half 13-10. Raiders went ahead then with an opening drive touchdown to start the second half. And now the Chargers come back to tie it. And nicely placed kick as the ball is fallen on by Napoleon Kaufman back of the 16-yard line. Jason Terry is the man who is down to make the play on special teams. It's got Coach Mike Riley running up and down the sideline.
And you see there how it's turned around. Some days you come out and it just clicks for you. And Mike Riley's a guy who just kept plugging. He's a guy that loves game day. You know, they've been through some tough times here this season, but he's a guy that has really enjoyed being on the sidelines during game day. As a kid, he wouldn't start playing in his living room until his mom sang the national anthem.
That's right.
And that's a guy who loves game day.
He led his high school team in Corvallis, Oregon to state championships in baseball, basketball, and football. He was the MVP in all three teams. So he was also a player before becoming a coach. Legally, there's just nothing there. This John Perella is a force. 97. Throwing aside blockers, slamming the run. Log on to NFL.com and vote for the NFL Player of the Century. Who is your pick? Vote now on NFL.com. That's a tough call, huh? Player of the Century?
Yeah, it is a tough call. That is a real tough call. I don't even... You got to go back like Jim Thorpe. I mean, Red Grange, Jim Brown. Wow.
Here is Gannon. Sidearming the ball. Incomplete as Seesaw was there. Guy told us he just, because of the injuries, doesn't have the speed to go sideline to sideline, but he's been doing it, including the time he intercepted a ball earlier.
Yeah, well, when you got a guy like Junior Seau, sometimes that fourth gear just comes with autopilot. And he's playing like this game is a playoff game. He does that every week. It's just something, that's what has caused him to elevate the play, this whole defense for his entire career. If he's doing that with 3 speeds, heaven help us if he gets a 5th gear.
They're down. A loss of almost 2 yards on the play. Beats on. Gannon on the run. They nail him at the 10-yard line. Second sack of Rich Gannon. Rayleigh Johnson and Norman Hand are the sackers.
Well, that's when Rich Gannon has struggled today. When he's had time to go back and throw, he's found his receivers. But the Chargers at different times have been able to get pressure on him, force him to run, throw off balance, hurry his throws, and also sack him.
Could be a lot more points scored in this game. Still almost 12 minutes to play. The punt hit downfield by Araguz. And the Raiders have to down it as it bounced back at them. So the Chargers will start inside the Raider 43-yard line. Tonight on 60 Minutes, if there were no nuclear weapons in the Gulf, how did Americans... The game has certainly changed.
Well, yeah, 1 out of every play, every 5 plays in a football game is a special teams play. Now, you always say there's a 1/3 and a 1/3, but it's only 20% statistically. But as you can see where the field position now is, they're weighted. Field position is dominated and dictated by special teams, and that last punt was terrible.
Wasn't a great one. Here's Harbaugh. He wants to get it fast. He goes down to Freddie Jones. He's inside the 30. The whole Raider defense comes hitting on big Freddie Jones. Whistle blowing, a 15-yard gain, a first down for the Chargers.
One of the things that makes Jim Harbaugh a great quarterback is his ability to fight out of tough situations. They came out flat in the first half, and he just battled through it. He just absolutely will not give up, and his team responds.
Well, he earned the nickname Captain Comeback in that great season the Colts had with him at quarterback. With a run, go the San Diego Chargers. Oakland's defense doesn't give up much. Knocked down at the 23-yard line by middle backer Greg Beaker.
One of the things that this offense is missing and has missed at different times during this year is Natron Means, a franchise running back who has really meant a lot to this offense since coming over from Jacksonville, and this is where he sits. He played here up until '95, helped this team to the Super Bowl, then left, and now has come back and continued a great career here, but has been injured most of this year.
Harbaugh takes a look, throws near side. Jones on the run. He's got a first down inside the 15-yard line. Nathan Means, we mentioned him, just a series of injuries. Has missed 15 of his last 22 games as a Charger. Knee, ankle, and they're hoping to get him back fully healthy as to be their prime runner. But right now it's the right arm. There's Natron. The right arm of Jim Harbaugh moving the team downfield. That throw gets the ball inside the 15-yard line. First down and 10. Another throw and catch. McCrary across the middle. Not for much, but he got some plus yards. Barton, the rookie, makes the stop for the Raiders.
And at this point, this no-huddle offense, you can tell, is beginning to wear a little bit on the Raider defense. They're standing around with their hands on their hips. They're a little bit tired. Play after play after play. If you're not used to it, it wears on you and miss the fourth quarter.
Well, Harbaugh's been running them around. 23 completions today for 326 yards. Kazan taking on tacklers and holding on to the ball as those Raiders come hunting the football, led by James Harris, 93. Mike Riley's seen this game turn, fighting to have an opening season as the head coach of the Chargers with a 500 record. They come in 6-8. Raiders came in the day, starting the day with a 7-7 record. Harbaugh, here comes the rush, free ball. It is picked up by big Roman Fort in the center. That blindside rusher is really getting some clean shots on Jim Harbaugh. Terrific defense by Lance Johnstone.
Lance Johnstone has stripped Jim Harbaugh of the football in the same way 3 times today, and it cost him a field goal earlier. Watch here as he steps back. He just gets around Raleigh Roundtree, the left tackle, playing for the injured John Jackson.
Jackson was shaken up in the first half. Carney now ready to try the field goal. The hole is at the 27. 37-yard field goal is on the way. It's right down the pipe. John Carney goes over 1,000 career points as a San Diego Charger with his right leg. And with the field goal, he gives San Diego a 23-20 lead. We'll be back with the Chargers kickoff in a moment. John Carney, whose field goal just put the Chargers in the lead, kicks off. Napoleon Kaufman out to the 27-yard line, and it's first down and 10 there for Oakland. A most unusual game. The Raiders outscored the Chargers 10-0 in the first quarter. Chargers outscored the Raiders 13-0 in the second quarter. Raiders outscored the Chargers 10-0 in the third quarter, and the Chargers have so far outscored the Raiders 10-0 in the fourth quarter.
You see here Rich Gannon's numbers. Hasn't completed the normal 60% of his passes as he has, but and really when he's had problems is when he has not been able to have time to sit in the pocket. The Chargers have brought a lot of good pressure to bear, and that's affected those numbers.
Gannon gets the ball away over the middle just before he is leveled. And the ball is completed to fullback John Ritchie for a gain on the play of about 5 yards. Big rush again by Rayleigh Johnson.
He's going to come back with a holding call.
Hey, over the years.
65. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's been so many great Raider Charger games. This could be another of them by the time it's over.
Right here is coming off the left side there. And you see there, that's called on Barry Sims, who's really the normal right guard for the Raiders. And he's playing left tackle today.
1st and 10 on the run. He's going to take it and gets to the 23-yard line. One of the Raider-Charger games I remember best was back in '85, an overtime game. Unbelievable. Chargers won on a Little Train James touchdown reception, 40-34.
One of the things that's happened in this game, Mo Collins, the left tackle for the Raiders, is out of the game, and Barry Sims, who just got called for the hold, had to move out to left tackle. And he's normally the right guard, and now Gennaro DiNapoli is in at right guard. So they've had to shuffle the offensive line around. And that has obviously showed through in their offensive numbers, the shuffling of that offensive line.
And the Charger pass rushers attacking him with stunts, blitzes. Good catch by Ritchie. John Ritchie, who's only carried the ball 5 times all year, but he has 37 receptions. That one was good for 5 yards. Relieve the most. Thursday night at 8, 7 Central Time. Gannon stands in. He takes a look. Boy, he buys time. Gets the ball downfield, and Mickens makes the catch for a Raider 1st down. Terry Mickens goes up and comes down with the ball for a 17-yard gain.
That's why Rich Gannon has really improved this Raiders team. His ability to run and scramble. It's not about gaining yards with the run. It's about gaining time. And even though Terry Mickens brings this down and in, this play's going to come back with a hold in the backfield now that the Raiders have been called for a holding.
Number 63, offense, illegally downfield. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Barrett Robbins was downfield. That's what
Raiders, as you see, down by 3. They've led by as many as 10. Again, Gannon buys time, makes a throw, open man. Mickens again, far sideline, 1st down Oakland. A 19-yard gain, no flags.
Well, the strong safety, Greg Jackson, moves over. As Mickens goes up the sideline, you'll see there number 26, Darrell Lewis, lets him go and then forgets about him. Well, Greg Jackson is defending the deep pass, hoping for help that Darrell Lewis will drop back, and there you see Mickens just break it off. That's what a great quarterback can do, find the guy in the traffic.
And he keeps buying time to find the guy. Wheatley keeps slamming it up, and the San Diego defense keeps knocking him back. There's just
don't become a running football team here in the 4th.
We are told now the graphic was correct. It's 11 carries for 12 yards for Wheatley. Here's a throw near side, and with the ball is the very fast James Jett. He's out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
You see
Jett gets behind the defender. It's over. Nobody out there faster than James Jett. Ooh, a well-executed screen pass play, and Wheatley breaks his first big play of the game. He's inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. And the Raiders strike big, rallying to try and come from behind. A 27-yard pass play.
Oh, that was a diabolically clever call. They have not run a screen pass all day and finally pull one out late in the 4th quarter when they've been taking a lot of heat on the pass rush and get it to the guy who's tough to tackle down the field. Tyrone Wheatley, when he gets in the secondary, you see there Charles Dimbry, he almost gets shrugged off. And that is a great play call and executed perfectly.
.27 yards worth of execution perfectly. Here's a throw and an incomplete pass at the 16-yard line. This is 2nd down and 10 coming up. And they have to take a timeout before the
playoff spot yet.
You talk about a Jacksonville right off the field in Nashville. Statement game sending a message.
That message was received in Jacksonville, no question about it.
To the end zone, Dimbry was the nearest guy to the ball. Mickens looking up, he was the intended receiver. He went down looking for a flag, and none forthcoming.
Very well. 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10 is not where you want to be.
And right now, they're at 3rd and 10. The sold-out stadium is a full blitz is coming. And they sack Gannon at the 27-yard line. No flags down. Looked like The Chargers might have left early, but the official right there, the linesman takes a look and says no. Seesaw and Norman Hand combined on the sack.
It's not that easy.
Surely is not. Nedney, a left footer, booms the ball, hits it nicely, but he's wide. He's long enough, but he is wide. It's no good. And with 3:04 left to play in the game, Gruden sees what would have been a tying field goal miss, and the Chargers take over the ball. So a lot of emotion on the field, and there's a guy that epitomizes emotion. Junior Seesaw.
Both these teams are out of the playoffs, and yet they live and die with every kick. This is such a close football game. Nedney knows as soon as it leaves his foot, this thing's not coming back in. Sometimes they'll hook it, and it'll come back in, but that one has no chance.
Seattle, meanwhile, continues to hold to the City Chiefs. In so many years, sending 4 teams to the playoffs. Kazan runs the ball, and now you remember we're talking about the Raiders with no timeout, so they're in deep trouble now. They can't stop the clock. There's games in this league. Gruden, he can fix that evil eye on you.
He's an intense young head coach that the players like playing for.
Seattle has beaten Kansas City 23-14 on the run. Jim Harbaugh sliding to a halt wisely, staying in bounds, keeping the clock running, and a penalty marker's fired in. It's on the Raiders.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 96 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, Gruden's unhappy because he thought that Russell was just coming in trying to make sure the guy's down. I mean, you got a game on the line.
Harbaugh slides.
That's a tough call.
Yeah, it is a tough call.
Yeah.
Harbaugh slides feet first. Russell Maryland, he doesn't even take one step. Watch here as Harbaugh hits the ground. Russell Maryland.
He's already moving towards him.
Yeah, that's a
Win. The big rookie fullback thunders ahead to the 45-yard line.
That's the kind of run you need in a 2-minute drill.
So there is the 2-minute warning. We'll be back to San Diego after a word from your local station. 23-20, San Diego with the ball, coming from behind in the first half, coming from behind in the second half. The game John Perella of the Chargers calls a street fight with helmets on. The annual meetings with the Raiders. Second down. Back to the run. Back to the putback, and Kazan breaks it. Running over people. And that will just about put the Raiders out of business on this Sunday afternoon. They have no first down. No timeouts left. There is a first down and a 17-yard gain.
You can say what you want about what this game means to the playoff picture, which is nothing. But I'll tell you what, these teams see each other too often not to care a great deal about who wins this football game.
They surely do. The executive producers of CBS Sports are Sean McManus and Terry Ewert. Today's game produced by Jim Rickoff, directed by Steve Milton. Associate Director Sean Gerchikoff, production associate Paul Shaver, as they now go to the down the ball play call, and that will do it. Raiders powerless to stop the clock. A tremendous win for Mike Riley because his team was really taken apart by the Raiders earlier.
These guys are learning as if it was a playoff season. You see here's the playoff picture take shape in the AFC today. You see there Seattle beat Kansas City and those two teams flop, and now the one who lost that game today in Seattle goes all the way to the bottom of the ladder behind Miami and Buffalo. These games at this time of the year, that's why you want to win in September, so you get a little cushion in December.
Tremendous come from behind win for the San Diego Chargers. Clock runs, and the Raiders, who battled every step of the way, and now John Gruden sees his season go to 7-8. Best he can do is equal his first year's mark of 8-8. And they don't have an easy time next week as they go to Kansas City.
No, it doesn't get any easier, and Kansas City's going to come out with fire next week after losing in Seattle today. And this has been a year like that in the NFL. Hot and cold. The good teams are bad, the bad teams are good, and then next week it's all different.
So that will do it. The final numbers are up, and the Chargers beat the Raiders 23-20. Now for Steve Tasker, this is Don Criqui, thanking you for joining us, and the happiest of holidays.